It's an amazing position when you get into a high level system. Sure, you understand that you really can't get rid of distractions or anything. You just have to learn how to force line its system and put it like an energy bubble around it. So wherever I go, I platitude divisions and I change position locations wherever I am. It's important to understand these things because it puts you in a better example. You really can't get rid of things. You just have to learn how to balance things because there's so much activity outside, there's so much activity inside. It's knowing how to use your collaboration center locations to your avatar system. Okay. It's important you do these things. I do it at the beach, I do it at the airport, I do wherever I have to. So it blocks out all interference location outside channels so you have no relation to its position locations. It's amazing when you go to higher level systems, especially when you get into levels of space and time. So whoever's watching, that's fantastic. Whoever comes in, that's even better. Whoever's not here, that's okay. You can watch back. It's real as it is in that position location to current its system location to its avatar. I sent you guys a very powerful video of what's going on with the conditions right now, where the sun graphs are going to higher level system rotation and interference location to its conditions. You all have the platitude division line centers of 3, 6, and 9 now. So 3, 6, and 9 is the application line conditions, which is all levels of travel. So 3 and everything through 6 and everything through 9. 9 is location to position, locations to its avatar system. You have to truly understand how to use this, the correlation line conditions. It's mostly understanding the memory of its avatar system, but it's incredible force when you go into levels. Really understand the geometries of you, okay, the operation, its direction. What direction are you following? What direction do you want to go? What direction are you seeing through provision? This is training standing when you come into calculation modifications to your avatar system. All right, so today we're going to travel through the weather engines where everything all started. We're going to go through the 12 line center, 24, 48, 72, 144, 1,000 line position locations, birth line centers, all level conditions, clocking system, dimensional settings, vortex communications, all letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols, how it all calculates and how it forms all together from its beginning. It's amazing how you come into a level, how you create weather. Well, how do you create yourself? It's to understand the particle system, right? It's to understand your cells. Knowing how powerful it is when you see yourself, knowing the cells can move here, the cells can move here. You can change computers in your cell as long as you understand the shapes. It's true to understand that you take anything for triangulation location to its conditions. You go through telepathy wires, communication interference, program setting location to its conditions. But it's powerful when you reach these cycles. So other than that, in TikTok, it's really understanding that the avatar is high forcing right now. It's going into full communication and teleportation lights. The connections all levels of Jupiter and everything through Neptune is now in its position. So it's coming from here and it's going to go right into here, into one cycle. Okay, you see that? From here to here. So it's going to flip the switch and come up, right? So it's interesting how we understand the weather position locations of planets and how planets rotate in cycles. It's amazing how it goes in its galaxy surface. It triangulates at all position locations. So you start from here and then you go from here and you look at an eye view. So you actually can see it. It's like seeing a three-dimensional word that comes in a phrase. So it's kind of like doing this. Right? So it's amazing how galaxies set up. Galaxies set up in all level position locations. Now the avatar understands the sequence location. This is all done through the weather engine, right? Everything through the atmosphere locations. Your universal line center has a weather engine, right? So do other universes, right? You're in a one line center, but there's so many universes out there. There's so many planets. There's so many moons. There's so many suns. There's so many command centers. It's amazing when you go to a higher level of the avatar system location to its conditions. So it's better that you guys get a basic understanding. We did the A, B's, and C's, all right? Let's understand the point locations into weather engine, weather interference, weather problems, because you could have problems inside your system. Oh, I don't have enough altitude line center. The altitude line center is not a position location of calculations. This is where it gets complicated because what planet are you dealing with, right? Because remember, you can change weather planets on any position locations when you're in a foundation cycle. The circle rotation center is set up position locations. So it's true understanding more of space inside you. It's the expansion that you can have. And wherever you travel, you can understand the weather, right? It's amazing. Like it's windy, it's dusty. You know how the moon has a crater surface, like it's just it's dust, right? It's particle dust. That's all it is. You have to understand what particle dust is. That's position location to its avatar system, right? The geometry line center is set up to weather patterns. It's Monday, okay? But this is where it's interesting. Everything in space is all timeline. So there is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's only now. Interesting, isn't it? Think about it. So your gratitude line center is in a position location to graph interference. You're in the hemisphere triangle. A hemisphere triangle is a high system location to the sun. So it's a fluctuation line interference location of flux capacitor and high position locations to your graph line center. Okay. It shield plates your avatar system. Okay. But everybody has to get into the teleportation of 369. That's important. You have to understand, right? So every time you get up in the morning, the 369 is going to put you in a higher level system of activation. All right. All those are in position location of radioactive. All right. It's the reactive line center, Spidey sense interference line, position location, calculation line conditions. The shape itself is going to wake everybody up in the high force line center. The avatar has to be in a teleportation unit and time frame, time sequence, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, fast track, fast interference, fast program setting, fast communication avatar line system. It's allocated position of timeline center. Okay. So it's important to understand how to put all this in division location to its connections. So how's everybody doing so far? All right. Nikki, how's it going? DJ, Devon, Johnny, Laura, Joe. Yeah, sorry, I'm just moving around. I went from one place, now I'm moving to another place. So, and then tomorrow, one more day in Jalapa, and then 2 days in Lenco, and then I go to Gulf of Mexico. So it's just bouncing around from place to place. You guys will find that out when you travel. Your atmosphere changes, your avatar changes, heat signature changes, light signals change, everything. Your receptors change. Your whole body changes atmosphere. Okay. So that's true understanding, knowing exactly where the weather is set in position, location to its engine. Right. You're a solar engine. You're just light track location to its position of dimensional setting. It's the same thing with galaxies. You have to understand how galaxies work. What are galaxies? Because it's always moving constantly, right? But it's amazing because it's always in the now. There is never a past, present, or a future, only the now. It doesn't exist in space, right? So it comes into time to timeless, right? It's amazing how we point view location to its conditions. Remember how people are talking about there's no time, no place, no location, no age, no anything but that position location? In a factor and interference line position locations. When the avatar is born in its system, okay, it has to understand its time sequence, time codes, time frames, time clocking, right? And then there is space and there is time in that position locations. So that's why people get confused, because there is separation, right? And not calculating to the mind system. So the avatar has to understand its relation through its mind, okay? The vortices location to its connections. Truly understand you are the calculation of space and time that precedes all levels in you through its travels, through your GPS, your geometry line center location geographical system, which is extremely important. Because what's the point of understanding any of this if you don't know how to travel through the avatar, right? So it's important you understand this, because everything becomes time and then timeless, which means you can be all levels of timelines, which means there is no 7 days a week, which means there is no 24 hours a day, only the now. That's becoming everything through identification line conditions, right? I'm you, you're me. That position location is its calculation. To understand, you're never in a body. You never have been in a body. That's a true understanding where there is no time, there is no space in that position location, its calculations, which means that you disappear and everything is nothing and nothing is everything. That's the calculation of E equals MC squared. Mass, okay, the mass, okay, of information, right? Mass of nothingness is everything of information. That's the equation of location times pi. It calculates and modifies all levels of the square. Where does the square come from? Flux capacitor. Where does that come from? Where does the avatar? Where is that born from, right? It's all born with locations, all levels of you through space when it comes into atom, right? So you create the space, you have the space and time system. And once you create that position location, you start manifesting these things. And the more you understand your system, you realize you never, ever have been in a body. This is a true understanding when you come to all-dimensional time sequence location. So I look at the wall, I am the wall. I look at the TV, I am the TV. So there's no connections to anything through 24 sequence when I become the wall or the TV. Just the now, which is amazing. So it's integrating everything all at once. So it's extremely complicated if you're trying to understand these things, right? So don't try to complicate issues that are not even there. Don't bring things up that don't make any sense to you. Focus on you and you'll be totally fine. Coming into the expansion of you is number one. Once you come into that position, things get a lot more easier with flow and structure. But you first create this space. Okay. That's the most important thing because the memory is the most thing you have to realize. It's the continuous force of its thought, because that's what you're doing every single day with your thoughts. And a lot of people don't realize where their thoughts are going. They're always, always, always traveling, right? So that puts you in structure of your past, present, or future. Okay. Time sequence location to anything through calculations, right? When I was in position locations and I went from all number line centers, I went from so many levels into travel direction of time into the future and so many level future locations, its connections, foundation. I went right back to zero and disappeared, which means I'm no number, no letter, no shape, no symbol. It's everything through combined system, which is everything of the now system. Because it's simultaneously over and over and over and over and over. So I don't live by day by day by day. I just live the now, which is everything. That's the calculation where we get confused. That's this location. So I sent you a very powerful TikTok about what's going on, where he sees himself that, do you know who you are? I know who I am, but are you trying to figure who you are? This is the true understanding where you have to get into self-identity of yourself and realize you are in that position to understand you through memory. And it's the memory that comes back, right? Add 3, 6, and 9. Okay. Anomaly switch line center, galaxy interference locations, releasing all of oppositions, coming into more sovereignty, more freedom, more excitement into the avatar of its relation, right? You can get more into your creations too, which is fantastic because all these manifestations can be given to you, but you really self-identity of yourself first and realize you have always have been the avatar, right? So this is a true understanding when you commit to that. It helps you out and always informs. So, all right, Airbender, how's it going? Alan, how's it going? Val, how's it going? I know, I'm just waiting for everybody to come in, and that's why I keep talking. Yeah. Well, it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Just, you can't do that at first. You can't do that because you're disrupting the avatar system and its signal location to its conditions of its body frame line system. So it's important to understand that. Okay, so you have to know you actually have all level position location to its avatar and all its compartments inside and everything through its operation system locations. You get the flux capacitor and you can travel through anything through shapes. But do you understand that through position? All right. So, Lauren, how's it going? All right, Amber, Terry, Veronica. Yay. A little bit distraction here. It's calculating misfired. So, yeah, e-fields up. You shut up e-fields up every single morning. You shouldn't ask questions. You should know exactly what you're doing. Your computer system is high channeling right now and the sun graph interference. So it's releasing all levels. You guys are coming into your freedom. You're coming into your sovereignty. You're coming into your balance. You're coming into your control. You're coming into your commands. You're coming into the force lines of its avatar system. But it's positioned right now, guys. You have to really pay attention to these things. The teleportation units are all set up through the 369 platforms. So it's going beyond recognition of time and everything through the conditions when you come into the Gunalani, the correlation line conditions, the Queening line center interference, and everything through that conditions, right? So once you understand that position location, you understand everything to its scepter and how point locations, everything to its past position. So it's important you understand these things through calculations. All right. Yeah. Experiencing glitches, general frozen. Yeah. Well, see, that's exactly what's happening right now because I'm in a different atmosphere. I'm still in Jalapa, but just in a different location of interference. So you guys have to learn how to balance your avatar with the glitches, with its time frequency, with its time codes. That's eternity of standing. Once you get into calculations, you can put energy fields around you and block everything outside of you, right? And the only thing that you can hear is your voice, and it's like echo. It's like you can feel the wind. You can feel the crisp air. You don't have to be outside to create. You can be inside and have the imagination. So I can imagine in a Arctic view, Antarctica, and I'm on a glacier, right? And I'm going, and I can feel the wind. I can feel the crisp. I can feel the cold. That's the imagination of creation through avatar travel. So, and these are the things you have to understand, because you can travel through this if you see what you're doing, right? If it's a very cold, windy day, you can feel the breath. You can see the connections. You can feel the energy, right? That's its position locations. It's amazing when you see these things. So the weather engine is set up. All right. So you're going to go to the past line center interference location of 12, 24, 48, okay, 72, and everything through 144. 1,000 line center locations, the birth location of this weather, and how everything is put together. How things start raining, how the sun comes out, how to set wind tunnels, wind surface, wind locations, water tunnels, undertows, anything at position location of calculations, right? So I know there's a lot of glitch here. I got 4 people online, track system, location, connections here. So hopefully you guys can sound issues close out and come back in. Yeah. Grounding, drink your water. It's very efficient, very effective in all position line centers. Coming back in calculations. Okay, so I blocked out a lot of energy, right? Because there's a lot of activity here. So you hear a lot of sonar lines, but you won't feel it as much. It's all about the grounding interference location of these conditions. And you have to ground your system location to that positions, right? Well, like I said, you have to learn how to communicate with your avatars through computer locations. That's a true understanding when you're coming into that adaptation cycle. All right, so weather engine setup and position is the weather engine. Okay, so you start here and you're going to go all the way to the engine. So you're going to start here, the weather. So I'm going to set the shape. And this is how everything's set up. Everything's set up through energy, but you have to understand all levels, how to put the energy, vibration, frequency, and harmonic resistance. 4 line channels, 5th within system, 6th within activation of barcode line center, 7th within the body system, 5 within the atmosphere. So every single day you're using 12 DNA track interference. Rotation center, position, location, and calculations. All right. Once you get into that modified system, it's very informative when you get into calculations. You have to learn how to set up the shapes. Okay, so you can change the colorations of time or anything through space. Right. It's important you understand these things. So as the weather comes into these locations, right? Weather engine. Okay. So we're going to try for the high system. I won't be able to do private sector today. I'm going out for the afternoon. All right. So we'll have to set up another date for that. A lot of things are happening right now. So in position locations, all right, so we channel high system. Going to change the coloration of blue, right? So you can change the weather line centers to galaxy interference, but the weather engine has to understand its point location to its avatar system. Now it's going to get complicated, right? Because it's all about how to set the 369 platforms. That's what the avatar has to do. They wake up to the activation system of the avatar, but they have no idea how to travel. You have to learn how to travel through 369. That's the whole understanding what this is all about. You have to learn how to go through your diamond core, your clocking system to position locations and calculations. Right? That's important. You have to understand. So I don't need to set up the triangle because it's already set in position location. Right? So it's really interesting when you get a triangle traveling through, okay, a light stream. Okay. So it's pretty interesting how it travels, right? You guys are getting better and better at this in position location. So it just goes round and round and round and round, right? Light streams, DNA tracking interference, observation locations, the GFLs, the GFA's line center interference, and everything in the rebellion. It's going to set sequence location to its connections. Now it's amazing how you go around a stream interference through shapes. It changes its position location to its direction. Starts here, right? And it's going to end up here to the engine. Now, once it gets to the engine, you guys are going to travel through weather patterns. You're going to go through all positions. You're going to go into the high system. If you saw matrix locations, you understand the connections, where it's kind of like a sack. So you guys are going to be in the sack. You understand? It's like being in a cocoon and how it comes into 4 different variations to a butterfly effect. But you guys are going to be in that sack of galaxy. I'm going to show you how the matrix was born. This position location wakes up all level system to calculation, right? So we're going to travel through all of the triangle locations. It's going to stay the same color. All right, so it's going round and round right now. Code signals is set up to position locations already in frame center. Okay, once it reaches the weather engine, you guys will go into the sack of its matrix of its beginning. Okay, so here we go. One site, signal line center and position line center interference, program stand position location all levels. Take the track line centers, everything for the observers, high position locations, get them in the avatar line center, understanding connections. So you guys are going to go through the avatar, you're going to go through Ryan's belt until you more form yourself to the avatar system to remember who you are through calculations. Everything the GFAs, they're starting high line center to its lines and interference. The GFLs and the rebellion is going to go through the surfacing engine, code line center, rotation interference, weather communication, birth line center of 007. Interest has 007, right? Track interference location to its calculations. High position low levels of space-time creator. Set the wind sector line center locations of matrix of birth line centers of triangle line interference location to its connections. Travel position location. There you go. From here to here. All right. So it's all set in position. Set the high line center. Okay. Setting up the engine. Okay. It's in motion right now. It's driving very, very fast in position location to calculations. Grounds is set up. Now we're going to go through all triangle line centers. So all this is set up to ground interference. We're going to set the flux capacitor. It's set in sequence. Okay. Now we're going to travel through high line center interference. I'm going to change the graph interference location to its calculation. We're going to go through different triangle line center. Now we're going to go to the light stream location of red. You guys got to get balanced security before you go into the positions of the matrix of its sack and how everything is created at a level of position location of Gaussian line system, how everything is calculated, modified through the levels of the sun, everything through the modal locations of its moon, its position location, its calculations. All right, so here we go. Setting in position, setting in position, setting in position, setting in position. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 5, 6, 7. 7 is set up through the body center. Okay, flux capacitor is coming in. Sequence interference line position locations. Initiate, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. 30 minutes. Have fun. On sequence line center. Trial position locations. Now, you guys are going to go through all different triangles. Okay, you understand the matrix line center, how everything's set up through hologram structure, how the matrix was created through hologram. It's amazing how position locations and calculations, because everything is connected to you. Everything in this room is connected to you, but it's never been in the past. These are just memories of the past. Okay, it's always been the now. There's no future in that position. The future is you in the now. That's the calculation when you come to all portal line center interference. Okay. So triangle line centers, inner line position locations calculation. There you go. It's all set and ready to go. Activated through sequence. 30 minutes. Have fun. See? It's amazing what it looks like because you have to understand what it is. When you come into formation line center, you come in position locations. Let's go into green circle location to its connections. Let's set up the green centers. Here we got the green center line interference. What do we got? What do we have when we have green? What do we have when we have green? Change location center line interference location to its position. Okay, graph the signals. Graph and interference position location of calculations here. Okay, so understanding what you have is a tree. See the tree? See it? So this is a calculation how everything is created through all levels. Flower recognition of time center, everything in the tree of life, tree of foundation, position locations, comes nothing but a galaxy of its universe line center to your sun, to your moon, and your humanity location to its ground perception, what puts you into 5 dimension of consciousness, of telepathy. So understand that calculation modifications, you understand everything systems. Rotation cycle location to its conditions. All right. So I just want to show you how powerful it is when you see these things, right? You actually can see the vision of what it is through creation. See the tree. Understanding 369, how it can travel in so many levels all through the ground line center. Once that's set up, position locations comes into calculation. It's amazing when it comes in position, right? So let's say we go through another graph center, right? Illumination graph interference. We go into a power line center, the magnetic highway information system, which is its cloud. The avatar has to create the cloud. Okay. So it's sequence interference line position and calculations. All right. So it's all about understanding how to communicate from one to another. Goes down in signal line that position location. Okay. Comes into center position locations. 3 line centers interference. Okay. Comes in position location. So it's like energy attraction to a cloud system. All right. So it's amazing when you see it because this is what the cloud is. So you guys have that information system. That's where it comes from. Your grounds, your powers, and the average location. This is all levels. It's membrane of youth, the brain system. This is your calculations to your brain and how it works through tracks. Location to position, location to geometry interference. So it's amazing when you see these things. All position, location to its calculations, right? And then you have the particle change. Particle change is very powerful too. You can change light interference. Okay, the little dots coming around system locations. Particles change the cell light and centers, interference line position location and calculations. Because that's what it is. It's seeing the particles and then seeing the string theory. And then knowing exactly what it is, right? So if you look through the stream, you can actually see all levels of where you're traveling very fast, very quick. So the particle system comes into light signals, into the power recognition of time, right? So it goes up through channel, right? So it needs its past, it needs its presence, and it needs its future with its avatar system first. You have to recognize who you are through calculation. It point locations to all levels of you through track system location to its conditions. Okay? It's really powerful. See the particle system? See that? It's bringing it all together, right? All levels, past, present, future into one cycle, coming in atom, rotation, line center, the membrane, the interference location, right? So understanding the brain's a computer and the mind's a simulation. So points devise everything through calculations, but it's amazing how you put these things all together. All right. So let's see, in position locations, the calculation modification centers. How's everybody doing so far? All right, just focus on what you're doing, focus on the avatar, focus on memory. That's what this is all about, okay? Keep your grounds in your child, that's what you want to do. Force field line position location, put a higher force line center E fields. See, this blocks everything from outside. It keeps everything from inside me. So it's like putting a glass on top of you and blocking everything outside the atmosphere line position, right? Because the mind has to be focused, it has to be balanced, it has to have peace of mind to do these things. So you have to understand that you're going to come across tractions all the time, interference, activity, system locations. You just have to learn how to block it out and balance it in between. All right, let's see where we are here. Saw the spacesuit on, flying Superman styles with us. Elastic bouncing, check sonar panels, recalibration. Yeah, it's spectacular when we see these things, but I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you actually can see the membranes of its cloud. Okay, that's just the beginning. You understand the position of flourish of time or anything, your tree is the foundation location to its conditions. So if you look up, you can actually see the cloud. You can see your cloud. It's right above you, right? So every time you keep going up and up and up and up, and you remember more of the minds, everything the cloud comes in more through expansion, 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 right? So it's amazing when it comes in that position locations, right? And once you get to a certain level of memory, you go back into all levels. It looks like you're going into the past, but you're not. You're coming back into the age of a child. So you're reversing life centers through yourself as an adult. You go in position locations of a teenager to a child to a baby, right? Time sequencing, time codes. So it comes into a calculation where there is no past, there is no presence, there is no future, only the now. Okay? So once you come back to the inner child, everything through collaboration of the brain frequency light center comes into a simulation. So the brain and the mind come to one, right? Particle systems, protons, electrons, neutrons, and everything at connections, where it becomes time of timeless and space of spaciousness, of expansion, of an explosion. It's amazing when you can go into more data. The data, the processing, the communication cycle, the rotation centers, the interference location of the avatar system. The relation to the avatar is everything through information, people, especially when you get into that high level system. Truly understand the inner line center is your heart of acceleration. Time precedes everything through space. So, okay, just saw the sandwich of the general stage of cloud. Cool. Strings are frozen, replacing of choice. Wow, great upgrade. Yeah. You're welcome, Amber. All these snakies. Yeah, that's exactly what you are. A little microdot. Recalibrating binary codes of plasma completed, sonar cleared, and panels recalibrated. Everything ends me is everything on the dot. Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is. You get in that calculation all level system. When I told you the self-generation light comes into one cycle rotation interference, it comes into one cycle. It comes into one past, present, and future. And the past, present, and future come into one. And then it disappears. And you just live the now, right? So you're just the dimensional light of everything. You can merge in anything, you can connect with anything, you can collaborate in anything, you can communicate with anything, you can set datas to anything, position locations. You basically travel through anything, which is everything. Okay. So there is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Right. This is a true understanding. When I look at my phone is never in a data process location. It's in the now. It doesn't have a past. It doesn't have a present. It doesn't have its future. It just sets its position location of where it is. The sequence location is its position location. There's no confusion what this is. It's a computer. But I don't use it in the past. I don't use it in the present. I don't use it in the future. I use it now. That's the calculations I have to come into and realize what this is and how to use it is all through clocking, right? The higher you channel, the more you get calculated. The more you get modified, the more you get mystified through cosmos and the connections of mystery of what the avatar really is in provision. So, basking in beautiful light, balance, love, voice, general. Exactly. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Keep getting a glimpse of the team in a huddle formation, football, basketball players. Yeah. Recognizing, yeah, dot is all. That's exactly what it is. So that dot that represents you is everything. There's no past. There's no future. It's just you. So this is where everything comes into all timelines and all sequence location. You're living all timelines in the now. Amazing, isn't it? So I'm standing here, I'm connected to you, But there's no past of you. There's no presence of you. There's no future of you, just you. Because everything around you is not here. Have your attention. So it's all about getting the acceleration of speed first, faster, 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 faster. So you start seeing this, and then it disappears, and the particle goes in and out, in and out, in and out, and then disappears, and you disappear. You disappear with the phone, and you realize, oh, okay, the phone is still here, but it's gone. So the phone only stays in the now. You understand? That's the calculation where everybody has to come into. Now, you guys set up a fifth dimensional line position, which is great. So you're graphing location, the flow, structure. That's amazing. But you have to come into the male and the female aspects of you through its avatar system and realize there only is you, nothing else around. Everything around is not here, right? So it's here and then it disappears. Understand? And the only thing that stands is you. Because everything that you see through perception, okay, is just a hologram of simulation. You just have to learn how to balance the frequency location to all levels of what I see through all connections of timelines. Because if I look at something like that, right, that right there, see the structure right there? That's not there. Okay. So if I go over there, I'm traveling to where? To the future? No, I'm traveling to it. So there is no future if I travel because I'm all living all timelines. So wherever I go, I'm already set. And the only thing that stands in the center is you, nobody else. So it gets complicated. You're very, very complicated. So the mind finds the sequence, the brain finds the balance, and the flux capacitor finds the travel of you through its avatar system. That's why it's important to get in your 3, 6, and 9 travel. Okay? Correlation location to its condition is all levels at your RPG location to its settings. Okay, that's an important thing you have to understand when you come to coloration patterns, right? That's why you have a flux capacitor, so you can understand how to get your grounds and the powers and the atmospheres of time. First, you start off at position locations. Once we center up the highest location, then everybody comes into telepathy. Then everybody comes back into the solar graph line center, 8 central line interference location, a 12 DNA track line center, flux capacitor line conditioning interference locations into all levels of your chakra system. So there's a lot to learn. Inside one of those plasma crystal balls for electrical arcs, trace hands, movements across the surface. Yeah, being inside one of those plasma crystal balls. Yeah. It's exciting when you come to this location of calculations. Let's see, receiving downloads of upgrades. Excellent. Install the reading chair. Yeah, that's cool, right? Clearing out the old codes, coming into new frame. Feeling a whole new system, shrinking and expanding at the same time. Old major codes, purging. So you guys are getting your upgrades, whoever you travel to position. But I just want to show you how powerful it is when you can actually see the cloud that's inside of you. Pretty amazing. You have to send the ground line center, the atmosphere. You have to send the power breaks of time, position, location, your energy field line center, interference locations, energy plasma line centers, electrical light interference, eye receptor interference, line position, location, plasma walls, torical fields, network line center, line condition interference, tripod high line center interference, line position, eye receptor interference location, coming to space line interference location, atmosphere location to its connections. So understanding all levels of you to its matrix system. So the memory of who we are is absolutely amazing. Yes, it is. Isn't it amazing? Just thinking about you and wondering how the photos are going. All right, so actually you guys are communicating together. It's fantastic. See the calculations. Spring clearing. Yeah. Yeah, everybody needs. I know what you guys need. So that's the thing. And it gives you a better understanding. You get a cleansing, you get a flow, you get a time, you get a flush. That's the true understanding what the cloud is. It's the most powerful thing, Jill, to have, right, is your cloud. It has all memory of you, which is you through the soul. So the soul doesn't have time. It doesn't have space, only the now. Because everything that it sees, okay, is just you. It doesn't see anything else. This eternal understanding, when you put yourself in position locations, you're just trying to balance everything around you, right? And the membranes and everything through the cloud is storing its information of data. So this is where it comes into telepathy of all levels of answer, which comes from you, from the heart system. Very powerful. You come to calculations, right? So you start off, there is space, there is time. And once an avatar gets to the airline center, flipping the coin location, there is no space, there is no time, there is no location, there is no age, because it's only you. You understand? So you are you that is traveling, nobody else. Because everything around you, okay, is just a hologram. It's like it's not, it's translucent. It's just it disappears. If you saw Lucy when that car stands in the center, right? And then every time you look at it, it's going round and round and it disappears. Where did it go? It's still there, but you can't see it, right? Which means that you are only there and you are the only one that can see that car, but it's not there. See? That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. To come, you guys have to come into the birth line center location of the singularity of you first. And then when you come into position locations, you see all levels of the moon. And when you come closer, 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 it comes in together, rotation and interference. And then you actually can see the full communication of what it does every single day. Right? Truly understand the calculation modifications to the moon. Understand that you have to go all the way around, right? But you only see it from here. But when you come closer, more memory to the avatar of all geometry location, to all division line system, you start seeing the actual connection to you, to the sun, to the moon, or anything through planetary system location of its connections. And every time you go higher, you become more powerful through the collaboration of understanding of what the avatar is, right? To its connection, right? That's eternity standing when you come into all these levels of travel. Because the avatar just lives in the now. It doesn't live anything else. It doesn't know the past. It doesn't know its future. It only does the now, which is everything through the past, present, future, which is one. So everything comes into one first. So the avatar has to send the grounds, the powers, the atmospheres into one. Okay. Everything in your chakra system into one. Okay. Everything heartline center into one. All position locations, all levels of past, present, future to planet line center locations of traumas into one. All right. Everything's got to come into one first. And then the past, present, and future come into one. Once that comes into one, disappears, but it's still there. Right. So that's eternity standing. Because if you look at yourself, you're just identifying you through a resolution of a mirror. When you're looking at the mirror, what do you see? Do you see you, or do you see the real you? What part of you do you see? And it all connects to your behavioral system. It's all connected to the ground systems, the Mother Earth and Father Space, and how they created the foundation locations, and everything that comes into the center operation is its atom. Okay. So you get two atom line centers, right? One goes this way, one goes the other way. Right? So what do you think that means when it's separated? What's separating? Your universe is separating. What's happening now? Universe is coming back. Back together. Solar graph line center, NJ field by position locations, coming into all levels of the arc, coming levels of the Gardens of Eden, coming into the frost braid, right? Walking across it, seeing the light, traveling through it, getting to know the avatar, traveling through that, going through the shapes, getting to know more memory, going into the cloud. It's very powerful when you see these things for vision. It opens up more cycles, rotation, center line connections, all levels of you through its track system. But that's the importance we have to understand is the avatar needs to get into its 3, 6, and 9 platform. True understanding the resonant locations of the sun and communications of the moon, and you through the center operation of your flux capacitor of your tracker system of transmitting and receiving information, a data process location. So all right, I need to check how I organize in some springs. Okay. Yeah, you might have to watch it back, right? So Danielle, how you doing? Yeah, so you guys can do private sector. I won't be there. I will be there for the next one. Question or comments, let me know. I might be on Trackline Center on TikTok for you guys if you want to be in high business locations. Better communication in the 369 system. But you guys did a fantastic job. I'm going to take you out of the equation. Interference can't have you trapped in Mindline Center location membranes, right, to the Cloud Line Center location to its position line connections because the avatar doesn't understand its connection location to its connection to it. So in position locations, take the track line centers of everything the observation line interference, put them in the ground line centers back calculations, everything the GFA, GFLs, and the rebellion is back in sequence location to its connection. All right. You guys are out through equation line connections. All right. Questions, comments, let me know. Buddy, have a fantastic day. Adios.